Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. I pray all is well, and I pray y'all forgive me for being gone this long, because I know how in demand Big D is, and hearts break, and tears will fall when Big D Facto takes this long to call. No. I got a good explanation for why I've been gone this long. And I'm making this here video, well, for one, because it's about damn time. And two, I missed you. 3, it is what it is. 4, why not? And 5, so y'all know. The few of you who do care, and I love y'all, I really do. You know who you are. One person in particular I'm thinking of right now. I know it did look like the way you thought it was, but it wasn't. So allow me to explain, if I may. Might take a little bit. If you want the explanation, you're just going to have to stay seated. Grab some popcorn, maybe a nice refreshment, a beverage of your choice. Hopefully it's not soda. I'd go for a margarita myself, or a Corona. But right now, I'm having a DOC. But look at this though. I just wanted to, I didn't know what to put on the screen while I was spitting at y'all. And then look at this. Whoever this lady is, Aquafina, issues statement addressing accusations that she has used a black scent. What in the world are they coming, man? What's next? Like, if they got, I mean, they'd have to get everybody for using black scent. And are they going to get the black people for using white scent or cracker scent? What do I mean? How are you going to? What's the term for that? When a black person talks like a white librarian, you know, which is funny to me, you know. And never once did I think it was like, yeah, it might have been a little racist, but I mean, what, you know, my gosh, get over yourself. Grow some frickin' skin. Pull your big boy or big girl panties up. And it's just places like CNN that does that crap. They shouldn't even be allowed on any kind of TV or, well, you know, it's the image of the beast, so I guess, but, and that's just all the more proof that one would need that these things are the image of the beast. And that does have a little something to do with something I did want to kind of touch on, and that is about, it's related to the Canadian truckers, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Hold that thought, we'll come back to that in a little bit. First, I want to explain myself. So, the one person I was thinking of in particular, you know that I was, and a couple of people know, that my truck had broke down a couple weeks ago, and I was in a really tough spot. And I was miles from anyone I knew, well, that I thought I knew. One guy who has claimed to be my brother from another mother, whom I've I've loved. I've given the shirt off my back more times than I can count. And he was probably a mile from me several times and left me stranded. I found out. And that ain't the first time I found out that he's done that to me. Which is the theme for what I'm going to talk about before I decided to go ahead and hit the record button. I got thinking about some things, and I said, yeah, I need to explain to everybody, let y'all know what's up. But what I really want to say has to be said. And it's poetic if you'll look at it. And it's true light. And really think about what I'm trying to convey, whether I accurately convey it or not. Bear with me. Might take you a couple days of pondering, but once you do narrow down what I'm talking about, you'll be like, aha, oh yeah, I can relate with that. So my truck breaks down, right? And that guy's close to me, but I've learned months ago that he ain't nothing but a snake in the grass. The last time I talked to him, I was letting him know what I knew he had done to me and how I felt about it. And he was like, no, come on now, you know you're my brother. And I was anticipating him to say, you know I'm your brother, like he usually would do. But he said, you know you're my brother. And I said, yeah, I do know that I'm your brother, but you ain't no kind of brother to me or anyone else that I know. He's like, oh, come on now. Yeah, I said, no, come on, nothing, man. No, you've done me dirty for the last time. I'm not mad at you. I forgive you, but no more. So if you call me, I'll know that it's for something, so I'm not answering. And for years, I've called him just to talk to him, just to kick it with him. When I've never sought anything that he could offer me. I've give him money to ride around with me, to hang out with me. I've paid him more money than he's ever made at any job he's ever had, by a long shot. And I never did consider it that he owed me. I still don't. He don't owe me nothing. And the saddest part about it is it's on his account. What's most sad about that whole situation, and I told him this too. I said, man, you might not admit this because that's something you've been doing quite often here lately, is just lying out your ass. I'm probably the only guy, and I'm not saying I'm anything, but the facts are the facts. I might be the only friend that you've had, because I've watched these quote-unquote friends of his that he's shit all over me for, straight use him and abuse him. And I saw that was what they had in mind from the jump. And I asked him, I said, man, how you gonna, one day maybe you might wake up and realize that you ruined your friendship with, someone that actually had your back. I've beat people up for him. And I've tried to do that to other people for him, when I probably should have just let them whip him, I guess. But I couldn't do that. I've always been someone that I just, I could, even if I don't know you, I can't let someone bully you. I can't stand there and let it happen. But I willingly took on the role of black sheep, outcast of my family, for his sake. I told you about us, Rumlachel, and anyone that's a non-Rumlachel is a Gorja. I've told y'all this in my prior videos. He's a Gorja. And to a Rumlachel, to have a Gorja eat with you or ride in the truck with you, just because, if you're not just giving them a ride somewhere, that's unthinkable. And if you do that, if you're a friend with a Gorja, something's wrong with you. And I did that. I hired him. I hired his friend. I solicited his friend's grandpa one day about 25 years ago, and his grandpa said, "Do you need any workers?" And I said, "Yeah, actually we do." And he said, "Good, because my son's downstairs in his basement. Him and his buddy, that's all they do is play video games, and he needs a job. You hire him?" I said, "Yep." And he went down and got his buddy, and then the next day he went, and then that night I said, "You got a buddy that your dad was talking about?" And he said, "Yeah." And the following day he brought the guy I'm talking about. And he worked for me for off and on for a long time, still up to like last year. And but he's always, to me, he was my friend. I love the guy. We go way back, and we got, we had some good times, and we did. And that he used to, he either thought differently back then, or maybe he was just playing me, and I just was too gullible to realize it. I don't know. But I'd like to think that it was a genuine friendship, but who knows nowadays. I can't bank on nothing hardly anymore. So that guy was there, and he just straight up left me hanging like, that ain't even the right term for it. But I had such a raw, life-changing moment about a day after my truck broke down. I had a couple people around that time help me, and one of you is that particular person I mentioned in the beginning here. Thank you, my sister. I love you. And what you were thinking about me, don't ever think that about me, because if you do, you're going to be wrong. I'm going to tell you why I was MIA for a while, and hopefully you'll understand. I think you will. But around that time, my truck was broke down, and my son went to be with his mom for a couple weeks. And I reached out, and I don't like asking people for stuff. I don't like asking for help. I can't stand it. I don't know how to handle a compliment or a gift. I'm like the most awkward person. If you hand me a gift, I love it, but I just don't know how to accept it. I'm weird. But to a couple of you people that helped me, sis, I don't even know you. You're wonderful, by the way, and I'm pretty sure you're single. I think you are. You know I am. If you were close to me, I'd snatch your ass up in a New York second. I guarantee I would. And yeah. So get the thought of me thinking any negative thought about you out of your head. Yeah, y'all helped me, and I don't even know you guys. Never met you a day before my life. And just mentioned, that was a life-changing moment, and I'm not even kidding you. My life changed, and it does this from time to time. And I'm sure it does for y'all too. I was laying on some strange woman's couch who was nice enough to let me crash there. I had nowhere to go. My family pretty much flipped me the bird, to put it nicely. They've done me just like that boy did. They used me when the getting's good, and when they see the getting ain't no good, then it's screw Dottie. To hell with him. And that feeling, I'd never really felt that before. I'd thought it, but you know how some things just don't hit home, and then all of a sudden they do. And when you realize something like that, it's like, man. And I just, you know, that feeling when you like, could you imagine feeling finally that you're all alone, and that your friends and loved ones who you put so much time in, over your life, invested in, have totally discarded you, and that, you know, that cold lump in your throat when you just are tremendously sad. I had that feeling that day, and I just couldn't even talk. I couldn't even talk. And I knew, I seen it coming from the people that did it to me. But it, like I said, it just wasn't, that day it was made real to me. Abba must have said, enough's enough, my son. Boom. That's what you're dealing with. That's who you are loving still. And I'm sure, you know, he's not asking me not to love them. To the contrary. But he's asking me to not be an idiot no more. In which, pray for me that I cannot be one when it comes to what we're talking about right now. But I called an old friend, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this guy before to y'all. Why I haven't, I have no idea. And this just dawned on me too. And it's crazy that I haven't mentioned this guy. Have you ever seen the movie Stand By Me? It was out when I was a kid. It was about these young kids that go looking for this older friend of their brother or whatever that supposedly died along the train tracks or something. And the one kid looks up to the other one, and it's like the little bit older one can do no wrong, and he's like this little Billy Badass and stuff, you know. If you've ever seen that movie, my old buddy that I'm trying to talk about right now, he was like that kid to me. When I was a kid, he was my best friend. And he was probably he's 4 years older than me. And he could do anything. I'm not kidding you. No one could outfight him. He could jump anything. He could do, and he still can. I really hate to say this, but he's magnificent. He really is. And he looks like Brad Pitt. And I did something to him after we became adults that I was kind of forced. I wasn't forced to do it, because I did it, but I was coerced into doing it. And I so hated myself for it for years. But I finally apologized to him a few years ago, and told him I was sorry. And And I didn't even think he even realized that I did it. But apparently he did. I won't tell you what it is. But he forgave me. But when I was feeling that horrible, cold feeling and realizing that everyone had flipped me the bird, I thought of him. And why I didn't before, I don't know. And I called him, which I've always talked to him a lot, here and there. But what I'm going to tell you is it's a beautiful story if you'll listen. And I'll try to be quick. Just bear with me though, okay? I calls my old best friend, who I kind of feel up until this last week, the last 4 or 5 years, I felt like he really can't stand me no more. And he's a Romochel, and most Romochels can't stand me because of and just the way that we are. But he don't really look at stuff like that, but he just figures that I just thought he figured I was crazy or something, really. Which all this is gonna, if you'll listen, show you something extraordinarily beautiful, if I said that right. So I call him when I'm on that strange lady's couch, right? And I'm telling him that I'm stuck and my truck's broke down and that my son's with his mom and that no one will come help me. And he's like 4 hours away, right? And when I'm telling him that no one will come get me, I'm remembering what I did to him in the back of my mind. And I just had come to that realization that everyone's rejected me. And then I call him and I realize that I'm calling and about to ask for his help. And it hit me what I had did to him. And I got so choked up that I couldn't even talk. And I haven't let him know this yet. But he said, man, they must have really done something bad to you. You sound like you're pretty upset about this. And I couldn't talk, but it was about that. It was the thought of what I did or didn't do. I should have done. And I was a bad friend, a bad brother for not doing what I didn't do. And which it's in the past. I asked for his forgiveness and forgive me. But just like when we were kids, he put everything to a screeching halt to come and get me and rescue me, literally. And he did. And he came and got me. And about a day or two before that was like the last video I made. And I had kind of forgot how me and him were when we were kids. Like this guy, he could walk on his hands for miles, ride a wheelie. He could jump a bicycle over a frickin' mountain or something. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, there was nothing he couldn't do. Like, I looked up to him. And, and he knew that, you know what I mean? And like, we would kill for one another. We wrote this little plan down when we were like I say, he's 4 years older than me. I was like 10 and he was like 14, and we wrote this plan that when we got older, we were going to marry sisters. We wrote it down in pieces of paper, and we each kept one. And then we were going to marry sisters, and we were going to live next to each other and do all this stuff. And I tease him about it once in a while, but he came and got me, and he's got property about 4 hours away from where I was stuck. And the first couple days of hanging out with him after he came and got me, I was taken back to what friendship, brotherhood we had all those years ago. And for some reason, I was walked away from it. And I can say this, it was because he was doing some things that, for one, I didn't want to do, and for two, I wasn't allowed to even be around. Like, I was threatened to not even talk to him. And I never looked down on him, but everyone else did. And because they did, I was willing to not be there for him like I should have been. And it's so much more deeper than that, but that's why I couldn't talk that morning on that lady's couch. And when I heard him like stopping, he was like, "Okay, well, where you at? I'm coming." And I just realized I forgot that that's who he was. And I don't know if he forgot who I am or not. I don't know. But after spending a couple days with him, and us like chopping it up, reminiscing, I realized that my family didn't flip me the bird. They didn't give me the cold shoulder. My family did. Because they're not my family. And they never have been. They've always been this way. But that guy right there, me and him were like blood brothers. You know, I often say that if people think that they're getting into the kingdom by something they done, ain't nobody going. If we have to do or don't do something to get into the kingdom, ain't nobody going. Nobody's going. And I know that, you know, we're supposed to hang out with Yasharal, right? And my buddy I'm talking about right, my brother that I'm talking about right now, don't have the first clue about none of that, and he probably could care less about any of it. And he might not ever understand any of it. I don't know. But I don't want to try to make him. Because what I realized was the whole time I was calling these assholes who wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire, unless I had a couple thousand to handle. And some other things. The whole time I was trying, and I was wondering why they would behave that way. I had totally forgotten about my brother, who I know for a fact would give me his shirt right off of his back, and I would give him mine. And the whole time he was sitting right there, and I never had him come to my mind. Why that is, I really don't know. I can say that I kind of felt like he probably didn't want to be vacation thing with Rumlinchell right now to associate with me, because they all think I'm crazy, a crazy Jew, basically, or Muslim or something. I don't know what they think, but that's what it is. And they all say, "Oh, Dottie, huh? Oh, Dottie, huh?" So, but he showed me that wasn't the issue. I kind of thought maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. I think Abba was just reserving this for this time, because some things take time, baby. And it happened, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how long it took. All that matters is that it's happened. And so the last 2 weeks, week and a half, I really have just been, I chose not to make a video. I have had a couple little subjects I wanted to talk about, like the Canadian trucker thing. But what I've been working out in my life the last week and a half is far more important than that. And I hope y'all believe me when I tell you that. And if you love me, you'll accept that. But no, I'm not going anywhere, so don't fear. Big Dottie, Big D, Big de facto is here, and ain't going nowhere. So if I take a vacation, you don't hear from me for a week or two, don't get worried just yet, and don't ever think that I left y'all. If you don't hear from me for about a month, something's happened to me. Because I would never do that. I love y'all. I love interacting with y'all too much. Bethany, when you get on and you ask me questions and you're so interested in what I'm talking about, I would never give that up. Trisha, my little brother Kenny, my other brother Sean, when he tunes in once in a while, my subs, for the most of y'all, I mean, some of y'all, you guys don't ever, put me input in, but I'm not going anywhere. I love you guys. I don't have to ever meet you, but I know I will in the kingdom someday. As long as we stay humble, it's all that matters. That's all we got to do. Stay humble. I will never run out on y'all. But just taking this week and a half and just realizing, going back in time a little bit, nostalgic, just really the reminder of what a true brother is, and that I had one the whole time, and I just kind of forgot about it. And what that showed me, what Abba was able to show me in that is, like I was saying, if you think that you're getting into the kingdom by something you do or you don't do, you ain't going, and if that's how it is, ain't nobody going. Because we've all done stuff we shouldn't have done, and we ain't done nothing that we should have done. We're failures. Yeah, we do some good things, but it ain't going to amount to the things that we shouldn't have done and the things that we did or that we didn't do. Yeah, my brother, he probably thinks I'm crazy that my Facebook name is Dottie Ben Yahuwah, and he don't understand all that, and he might not ever, and he ain't a part of Yasharal. Does that mean that I shouldn't treat him like my brother? Does that mean that I should love him and still go and be a brother to him and him to me? Are we? Because this is something we need to talk about. I see it all the time. Well, it's let's talk about dating. Dating, okay? I seen this beautiful redhead today at the bank, and I told y'all I've been back in that court, here lately, and much wiser, I'll say though nowadays. But I saw this redhead in this bank today, this teller, and my gosh, she was so gorgeous. And the way she looked at me, a certain twinkle in her eye, it opened up a spot in my heart that has been lying dormant for a while now. Will I ever see her again? Maybe not. Maybe, who knows? I might go to that bank tomorrow and try to get her number. I don't know. Is she Yasharal? I guarantee you she ain't. If she is, I'll bend over backwards and kiss my own behind. Wouldn't that be something? But we got this attitude like, well, you can't get with them. And I know the unequally yoked. I know that. But that don't mean that you can't be friends with someone. And by all means, as far as relationship goes, don't get with anyone until you know who they are really good and they know who you are really good. You ain't going to know them completely. You could spend a lifetime discovering someone. A beautiful woman who's beautiful inside and out, I don't ever want to stop discovering her. Morning, noon, and night. And night. I'm going to be intrigued with the possibilities of who she is and who she ain't. Do you think there's going to be anyone in the kingdom who don't claim to be Yasharal? You know, it says several times, it says, all those who call on the name of Yahuwah shall be saved. And I can tell you with the utmost confidence that anyone who calls on the name of Yahuwah will be someone of the humble sort. Because it also says all through Scripture that only the meek shall inherit, shall be saved, the humble, those with true humility. My buddy, it will suck if he don't make it, and I do. But should I keep that from us? And yeah, you know, we're gonna have to say, well, he's helping you out. You know, he helped you out. Yes, thank Abba that he did. Absolutely. And I'm no longer stuck in that though. Like, I mean, it's not like I can't leave. But I've now, like honestly, if Abba threw $1 million at me, I'd take him half of it as soon as I got him. Not even kidding. And I'd say, let's go buy those houses that we talked about in those letters we wrote when we were kids. We can't do the sisters thing because your wife's only has a brother. She don't have any sisters. But let's try to accomplish the rest of that. that was on those plans we wrote down. I don't want to depart from him anymore. Too far. Even if I'm on the other side of the plane, I'm going to stay in contact with him because he's my brother. And he always has been. And I've always been his. But I just, things happen. But like I said, it's happened this way now for a reason, because it talks about how on that road being called back to the set apart mountain, to that set apart place, that he will pass over us with the rod. Take note of us. There's going to be certain things that we have to go through in order to survive that when he goes over us with the rod. And I got a really good feeling that I would have failed had I not went through what I'm going through right now. And I praise Abba for that. And you know what, baby? I ain't never, and you know that this is saying something, I ain't never wanted to tell y'all, I ain't never wanted to shout this to y'all and to anyone as bad as I do right now, that I want to give all honor, all praise, all glory, and all esteem to Abba Yahuwah. That is his name, the Most High, our wonderful Creator. How grateful, thankful I am to him for this opportunity to make amends, to show me that someone out here does have my back. And those who I expected to, I should have never expected to. And we all are idiots once in a while. None of us are perfect. But being children of the Most High, he's expecting us to grow and progress out of stupidity. I forgive them, people. I'm not holding no grudges, and I try never to do that. And I'll still help them if they need my help. But I can't go back to that place where I had a spot in my heart held for them. And when they broke it for the however many time, I can never go back to that spot where they have that kind of power over me. I'm sorry, Trish. And no, you were dead wrong in what you thought. I'm back. I ain't going nowhere. Even if you want to get rid of me, you ain't gonna be able to. I'm here, baby. And I'm in southern Illinois, y'all, down by where the eclipses meet. Saluki country. So, sis, if you're not too far from there, don't tempt me. I love y'all. Shalom, shalom. For now, peace out, baby.